Hey, 6th grade, welcome to part 2 of your What is Science Notes, Unit 1. If you were absent in class either Thursday or Friday of this week, so that would be August 17th or August 18th, these are the notes that we went through in class. Remember, as always, if you're not at school, make sure you check the absent folder to find any paperwork that you may have missed. So today's goal is to begin the process of using these skills. Just like thinking like a scientist, these are skills that you're already doing. You're already making observations, predictions, classifying. These are all things that you already currently do. These are all not only scientist skills, but they're also life skills. And so as you get older and become an adult, these are skills that are going to help you navigate different parts and aspects of your life. So the big focus for us today and Friday for the notes was observing and inferring. So I'm going to skip those for a second. I'm going to kind of talk about the other ones, and then I'm going to backtrack. So predicting is pretty straightforward. It's just making a prediction of what you think is going to happen. A lot of that's going to be on experiences that you've had in the past. So if it's December, I can predict that it's probably going to be cold and may even be snowy in December because I know from previous experience that during that time in Indiana, it's usually cold and snowy. So that's all a prediction is. And you do this all the time, even if you know you're going to do good on a test. You know that. You can make that prediction from previous experiences. Next week, we'll do a lab on classifying, where we group things together. If you like things to be organized and be in a certain place, or maybe you even group things together in your room when you have to clean it, you're already classifying. All this year, we're going to be making models. We're going to be having several projects where you're going to build something for me, design your own planet. We're going to make maps and things in class. So we're going to be making models throughout the year. You do this at home all the time. If you've ever built a fort out of cardboard, or you've ever, built something, out of Legos, those are all models. Evaluating will come in more when we talk about part 3 of these notes, when we look at how to perform our own scientific experiments. And then Unit 2 is going to cover all the things there you see about measuring. We're going to look at how to properly measure length, mass, volume, density, as well as time and temperature. But our focus for part 2 is with making good observations and then making good inferences based on those observations. So observations are any time you use your senses. So you smell, you taste, you hear, you touch, you see. Those are all your senses. Now, we won't do the taste as much. Can't really go around tasting a lot of things when it comes to science because you want to be careful. But a lot of the other senses we're going to use. Now, that information that you are pulling in, you're observing, can come in two forms. It can be quantitative, which is a vocab word, so numbers, or it can be qualitative, which is also a vocab word where you describe. So maybe I see 10 buses. Okay? That's a quantitative observation because I added a number to how many buses I see. Qualitative would be if I describe those buses. I see yellow buses. So I've described what the bus looks like. And the cool part is I can then combine both of them and make an observation that's both quantitative and qualitative. I see 10 yellow buses. So I have a number amount and I have a description. So once you make that initial observation, then the second part of that is trying to make an inference. You're going to do this in English language class all the time, and you do this in life. It's when you try to explain something you observe. So if I see 10 yellow buses, I may think, okay, maybe there's a school nearby, or maybe school just got let out. I can use that information. It's not really a guess. I have some prior knowledge, and I can use that to explain my observation. Now, at this point in the class, we did a big group activity. We did the science version of telephone. And then we did a second activity where we worked with a partner and we worked through some practice with making observations and then making inferences based on those observations. So if you're not in class, make sure you check the absent folder. You'll pick up a paper for these notes and you will pick up a paper for the second activity where you would have a partner and you'd be working through some practice problems. As always, if you have any questions, come see me.